Marge from fashionindex.com. I am going to bring in Tirsa right now. And then today, Tirsa and I are interviewing Elisa from Sskein. Sskein is a knitwear company. She makes pretty much, it's luxury knitwear. Beautiful. So we just want to have you meet Elisa. And you're going to love it. I mean, just incredible quality. She's going to show us some examples of her product as well that you can work with her. She develops all custom product. It's phenomenal. Here we are. There she is. Let's see if she's in here. Here we are. Great. Elisa, how are you? I'm going to just get Tirsa in here. Give me 1 sec. All right. Here she is. Great.
Hi, everybody.
Perfect. Hello. All right, you guys. So Tirsa is going to be our MC like always. She's going to give us a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to get to hear from Elisa.
Yeah, so I'm Tirsa, and this is Marge, and we're from Fashion Index. It's where you can go to connect with all the resources you need in the fashion industry. Anything from a coach all the way through individual contributors, businesses who do trims and fabrics and factories, all the way through anything you need as a resource. You can find at fashionindex.com. And today we're talking to Elisa from Sskein. She is a wonderful resource who is part of our community, and she's listed as a business coach, a consultant, a designer, a full service agency and production. So welcome, Elisa. And now that I've done a brief introduction, if you can kind of just tell us about like how you got to where you are today and what you're doing.
Well, how much time do we have?
I hear you.
I was born and raised in New York. Always had fashion industry around me because my mom and my grandmother worked in the Chinatown factories, and that's all they knew how to do. So, but I've always been around it, right? But I didn't know I was a fashion designer until it was time to apply for college, and I got into FIT. I also spent 1 year studying abroad in Prato, Italy, Florence, Italy, and also we spent once a week going to Prato, Italy, where all the Italian knitters are. And
what a great experience.
Oh, it's incredible. It was the best time of my life, you know, when you're young.
Yeah,
absolutely. I understand.
After I graduated, my first job was a assistant knitwear designer at Liz Claiborne. I didn't really know what knitwear designer was. I mean, all I was taught was really wovens and a dab in Italy for knitwear, but I didn't know I wanted a career there in that category. And I kind of just fell into it. And 6 years at Liz Claiborne, I just fell in love with knitwear. It was a calling. It was a fate. The more I thought about it, the more like I got obsessed with it. And then on my last 2 years of Liz, I went to Hong Kong, and I was an expat there, working next to all the sifu, what they call it, master of knitting knitters. And then once I came back to New York, I met my husband, and we were ready to move to Seattle, and the only place I wanted to work at was at Nordstrom, right?
Of course.
And I didn't get the first job I wanted, but I got into fashion accessories, and then 2 years later moved into women's, and where I got my dream job, which was design with Italian yarns, all the high-end stuff. And we work on their private label. I was mainly focused on their cashmere. And that time, that was when cashmere started to like take off for the more the common market, like and you know. So
I remember that vividly. Yeah.
Right, and everyone's just starting to dabble onto cashmere, price points that were more reachable than high-end designers.
Yeah.
So I'm responsible for that, and I built a business from $1 million to $23 million when I left.
amazing.
So yeah, I was there doing women's for 8 years, and then COVID happened. I left the company, and it was pretty much the fire I needed to start my own, because that's pretty much all I knew how to do. And
yeah.
I questioned myself. It was like, oh, if I, do I still love fashion? Because when you stay in the position for kind of long, you kind of get stagnant. But then I asked myself again, no, I really love it. I'm still very passionate about it. And then at that time, I've always wanted to create sustainable knitwear, and I had this idea many years ago, and I was probably a little ahead of myself, ahead of the trend of
Right.
sustainable and eco-friendly, because I've been in the market. I'm listening to vendors, listening to customers, going to Italian yarn shows, and I know what people are asking for, and we're moving towards there. But the company I worked for at that time was not ready for that. So then when you know, a designer dream is always to have their own brand, right?
Yes,
And their
for
own
sure.
line. So my dream was to have a sustainable knitwear company, a brand, and that's what I did 3 years ago. During middle of COVID, I created a capsule collection, got in touch with a Peruvian factory that I've dreamt of working, but never worked with. That was a risk.
that is, especially during COVID.
that, and it was actually a blessing in disguise, because at that time, unfortunately, a lot of brands were canceling orders. So they were to work with me, take a risk on me, and have lower minimums, because when you brand, it's the minimums that really get you, right?
Yeah. That's definitely a challenge for all of those people who are starting a business, for sure.
Yeah, so I was able to work with them. We also work with alpaca as well. But when I learned about this factory and alpaca 8 to 10 years ago, the more I learned about it, the more I found out it was actually naturally sustainable, and the most sustainable luxury fiber out there. Not just because, you know, knitwear in itself is already sustainable, because, you know, you have less stitch on
Right. Elisa, let's talk about that for just a second, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand what you're talking about. But what she's talking about is you're actually knitting to shape and then linking things together, or a very forward-thinking factory has 3D technology, is actually making it all, and it's coming off the machine as a full garment.
Yes, whereas woven a jacket, you have a pattern, and then you have a roll of fabric, and you put the pattern on top. You cut around it, the scraps of fabric are left to landfill, right? Whereas here you go, you have a skein of yarn. Skein of yarn. Well, my company's name is Sskein Studio.
That's the name.
Of course she has one.
So skein of yarn is just a loosely coiled ball of yarn. You take basically a string of yarn, you layer on the machine, and then the machine does all the work. But it knits into shape. There's no cutting around it, right? So there's less waste than a woven jacket. So that in itself, the category is already sustainable and eco-friendly. And then when I learned more about alpaca, I was just like in love. Okay. Just the way it eats, the way they live. It's, you know, it's a fiber that is, you know, it's water repellent, because they live in a mountain, and they just shed water. The fiber is hollow, so it traps heat. It's so silkier. It's just very different from cashmere. But I don't think enough people are using alpaca. You know what I mean? And where I saw source is from fiber to finished garment in Peru, right? For my home.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm still around.
I mean, that says a lot, though, honestly.
Yes.
That you started during COVID. You honestly, in a way, it's good, because you're starting like at the base, right? You can only grow from there. And but the fact that you found this new fiber that you love, and that you can get it, you know, locally also. I know that I mean, Peru is at least, you know, I like that it's you're sourcing in a country that's not, you know, as saturated as other countries. That's, you know, I just feel like let's spread the wealth. You know what I mean? Let's like get it, you know, a little bit, like spread out that production, you know? So I love that you're doing that. Are you doing production in the US also, Elisa? Or what do you?
Well, yes, we've learned from COVID that you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Things happen. So are to look into different vendors, like how we can spread it around. So we are working, we recently capsule that is all knitting, and they're all in New York City, factory in Brooklyn. And I'm ecstatic about it because it's an on-demand 3D knitting. What I mean is that you basically take a yarn, you knit, there's no seams, you keep printer, it prints out a whole entire garment.
Yeah.
Then
it's amazing.
you buy as you need. So there's no inventory for me right now. And the part about having a brand is inventory.
Yes.
And that's sales, because you're trying to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So no extra inventory. You don't really need the sale unless unless it's financial reasons, right? But yeah, it's a new thing for us, a new venture, and I'm really excited about it. It's a good way to test it out, because I think at the end it would be really cool to have, like, bring back all the manufacturing back in the US.
Yeah, that would be so amazing. That's what we want too. And I just want to pause for 1 second to reintroduce ourselves quickly. I'm Tirsa, and this is Marge, and we're from fashionindex.com. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you are a supplier, please consider listing yourself on our platform. It's a great resource. We love supporting and promoting all of those businesses, big and small, out there, as well as if you're looking to get into the industry, we are a great resource to find people just like Elisa, who can help you through the process. She's learned and figured it out and solved it, from big businesses to small startup, like doing something herself. So great resource, wonderful knowledge. She's all about sustainable. She's, very committed and very passionate about that. Has a lot of knowledge to share. So please consider, reaching out through fashionindex.com to Elisa. So keep going, Elisa.
Thank you. Yeah, you can find on Fashion Index, if you look for Sskein Studio, it's Sskein Studio, and you'll find my contact information on there. Where did we drop off?
Well, we were saying how you have these sustainable factories that are really no minimum, which is awesome.
Right. Well, I can't say the one in New York is no minimum, right?
Yes.
Obviously, if you knit in New York, there's a cost to it, right?
Oh,
because
yeah.
The wage.
Of course. Oh, yeah. No, I mean no minimum as far as inventory, like inventory. Yeah.
Right. But the message you can create around doing something domestically made in New York or made in the USA is really impactful, and people really see a value in that. So it's not a bad thing. And it's great to be able to bring things back to the States. It's great. It's great that you're supporting it, and, and continuing to do outreach to find additional domestic resources. And that's what Fashion Index is all about. And that's why we love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we are, as a company, we are continuing finding new ways to be better. There's just so much more we can do. For instance, yarn, you still have to import it from Italy or Peru, right? If you're going to knit. I found recently a yarn supplier that can spin alpaca. Because if you didn't know, there's a lot of alpaca farms in the US. So that's still
TBD. Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but it's going to take some time, because, when you meet a new vendor, whether it's a yarn mill or a factory, it's a dating process, right?
Yeah, total relationship
Totally.
Right? Trust. And then you still there. And that's what I was able to leverage the first 2 years of my own brand, so I can work with other clients. And so far now, I have 2 clients, and they're very small companies, but we all have the same value. We all want to have natural fibers, sustainably made, high quality, less is more, right? And buy better.
Oh yeah, buy better, definitely.
That's right. And then you guys can leverage off each other, which is really, really great, because you can share resources, you can share even yarns. And obviously, each one of the companies is going to have their own vision of what their product looks like, but you can share a lot of things. And that's a really great way of making a small business be more impactful to your business partners.
Yes. I also want to say that you're also getting Elisa's amazing career experience at your fingertips. So you guys, this is the value she's bringing, in addition to already knowing about yarns, already knowing where to work with your yarn mills, your factories, everything like that. But she works on a luxury level, and this is important to know, because luxury is coming back in a huge way. And so you, as a luxury designer label, could be hiring Elisa to help you create your line, and you're catering to your customers, and you're speaking to sustainability, to no minimums, no waste.
So true.
And these are the things that your customers are going to identify with, and if you can be bringing that to them, Elisa is the person you want to connect with. You guys, I want to make sure you know on fashionindex.com, look up Sskein Studio. It's Sskein Studio. It's 2 S's in the beginning. Look up Elisa and connect with her on Fashion Index, because you can't imagine, number one, the amazingly beautiful product that she can give you. And I also don't want you to think that you're limited to sweaters. Number one, sweaters can be, I'm wearing a sweater right now. This is a sleeveless sweater. Sweaters are for the summer. Sweaters are for the winter. And not only that, but dresses. She has the ability to offer you so much other product, like the breadth of product. You could be offering a whole line of product on your website, no inventory that you have to buy. You know, these are key to build your business. Spend your money on advertising. You know what I mean? And let the orders come in and pay for themselves.
Yeah.
That's what you can do when you work with Elisa.
Yeah, so when we work with New it's a little different. There's no inventory for my brand, but it's a different brand. We have to discuss that separately.
I mean, there's different options. Yeah, but you can give them different options, which is amazing. And in the luxury market, you're speaking directly to that customer who wants to own sustainability.
And that market's really very unique and special, and it's done a tremendous job rebounding post-COVID. So, you know, the buzz is the talk, and people still want their really beautiful luxury items. So it's exciting to know that Elisa and Sskein is out there building great product that is sustainable, she's trying to make it as local as possible. We at Fashion Index totally love the Make It Local model that she's working off of, and we really, really are so glad to have her as part of our community.
Yeah, when you were saying, Marge, about it's expensive to hire a knitwear designer, right? Corporations can spend six figures
on several different employees, right? Like, really?
Yeah, it's expensive to hire a full-time knitwear designer. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a woven line or a accessory design, if you want to add a knitwear piece or two, a new category to bring in and just attract new customers, then I'm your girl. Able to do everything design to production. I will source factory yarns and work with you closely as your person, as your designer, developer, and or you can only hire me as a designer if you have a factory that you're working with. But yeah, to have it's just lower. You don't have overhead of a design in your small to medium size companies so far, and I'm very picky of who I work with, because they have to have the same. Well, I use design, product, right?
Of course,
and they have to, of course, trust me.
That's everything. I mean, but Elisa, you wouldn't have had the career you had if they couldn't trust you. You know what I mean? I mean, working for Nordstrom, working for Liz Claiborne, I mean, being sent overseas to work for them and live over there for Liz Claiborne, you have the experience. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, I know.
The question is, do they have the right level product that they're looking to match with your aesthetic?
Right. Exactly. Right. I know it's been 23 years. I don't look it.
You don't look it.
That I am based in Seattle, even though I'm all the way up north. It doesn't mean that we can't work together. I have companies in LA, and I've worked on a menswear company in New York. And excitingly, we're about to deliver their first production, and super excited about it. And
one of her clients, she was just talking, they had a collection and they wanted to add sweaters, and so they reached out to her, and she's their resource. She's their person who's taking care of that to expand their collection. So as she said, it's a great way of getting involved in a new product category by working with somebody like Elisa and Sskein.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. So look for Elisa on fashionindex.com. It's Sskein Studio that you can reach out and connect directly with Elisa. Alrighty, guys. We only want to bring you like the best resources. We're trying to connect everyone with what they need in order to build their brand. We know that COVID was actually great for our industry. Many people opened their own companies, and we want to help support those companies and get you the best resources possible. Okay?
You guys want to see sketches and then how it came?
Yeah, let's do a little, this is how it's made. Yeah.
So this is my sketch board, like basically all the styles that we plan to put out, right? And most recently we did a cotton capsule from New York. You see that dress there, and then there's a woman's hoodie, right? Basically this is what it came out to be. This tank dress, all whole garment knitting.
So pretty.
And then matching, you get a cropped hoodie that you can wear on top of this as an outfit. Like you wear this as an outfit. And all this is Egyptian cotton spun in Italy. And basically, yeah, it's amazing because we just have samples here. We don't have inventory. I work from home.
That's all you need. You don't need much more than that anymore, honestly. But that's the nice thing. I mean, remember when you were at Liz and all the millions of duplicate samples everywhere? I mean, boxes and boxes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it just kills me to have all that excess stuff. And
Agreed.
personal life, where it's product, where there's a fashion industry, it just kills me. And I think on my last 6 months of my last job, I was told to design fast fashion. I was sick to my stomach. I was eating me up alive because it's not what I believe in, you know. And
right, that's a really important thing.
Oh yeah. And take a walk down to your local Target where there's container after container after container in the parking lot, and in Walmart they're storing all that excess stuff in the middle of the aisles. You guys, we gotta get away from this excess overdevelopment. This is the way to go, Elisa, with you guys and producing sustainably, for sure.
Sustainable slow fashion that's absolutely beautiful and stunning and so well made with so much thought and care. We're just really proud of everything you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Please,
so
everybody.
happy to have you on the platform, Elisa, and we're really going to keep telling people about how great you are and what you can do for them.
I'll be sharing you guys too.
Excellent.
Perfect. Please go check out fashionindex.com and find Elisa and Sskein, Sskein, and become part of our community. Sign up. We send emails that are very informational for everyone, as well as we have obviously our Instagram and other social media. So please find us to find her and other resources that are like her and complement everything that she's doing.
Yay! Good, guys.
Yay! Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.